outstanding Chicago Bears coverage. Former Bears scouting director Greg Gabriel and sports reporter David Schuster begin and end the week with analysis and uncensored opinion. You can't tailgate at Soldier Field, but you can do it virtually every day before game time on the Barfly Tailgate Show. After every Bears game, the passion is unleashed on our Bear Football Show, which you can find on our YouTube channel and social media pages. Midweek, get a comprehensive update on the Bears' upcoming opponent with Buffon 55. Also on Hump Day, make sure you check out Dan and Aldo bare their souls. It's penance for Bears fans. We all know winning teams are built through the NFL Draft, and that's why Draft on Tap is a must for Bears fans. The best way to win your fantasy football season is by listening to Tuesday's Fantasy Football Goon Show. Want to win more money and be entertained by the great Mike North? He's here at the Barroom. Mike isn't the only Chicago sports radio icon at the Barroom. Join Les Grobstein and David Schuster as they take you on a whole new dimension in sports talk. And there's David and Mark Shanowski, two of the absolute best NBA reporters in Chicago. They keep you up to date on all the Bulls happenings with sharpshooters. The Cubs are covered like their field during a rain delay with the new Friendly Confines show. Whether you're a sports collector or not, you'll enjoy Stuff Your Mom Threw Out, Just Don't Tell Mom. Don't be in the dark on what's happening on Netflix, HBO, and all the other streaming networks. Check out I Have a Stream. And that's not all. We're adding new shows all the time here on the Barroom Network.
Here we go, Barflies. Welcome to the Barfly Tailgate Show. You already know it's live. It's done by Barflies, for Barflies, and all the other Bears fans out there. Coming off the big win against the Tampa Bay Bucks, where we take down the GOAT and, you know, get back in that rare form of 4-1, even though everybody thinks we shouldn't be there. Whatever, screw them. We got a big show packed, just jam-packed for you guys today. Let me start this thing off by introducing the boys in the Barroom. First, we got Mr. Ryan Badgley. Badge of honor.
Yo, what's up, Bobby? AC, a beautiful morning to talk Bears football. A great win over the Bucks. This team just doesn't quit, man. There's no quit in this team. And I'm fired up about this one today, fellas. I mean, this is a matchup that if the Bears come out with this win, I mean, this Carolina team under Matt Rule, man, I know we'll get into it, but wow, they're playing really well. So this is going to be a tough challenge for this Bears offense and defense today. And, I hope we're up to the challenge, man. Let's go.
Definitely, brother. I mean, we have to get after it today. We got a tough streak coming up ahead of us of games to play. We need to go 5-1 and then get after this thing. Next, we got Mr. Aaron Current, the bearded Bears fan, with that sexy flow coming off the chin over there. If you guys, I know you guys could see it, man. Just look how pretty this guy is. AC in the place to be. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? The weather just went from chilly to straight up cold down here, man, and I ain't built for it. I'm a hoodie weather guy. I ain't ready for this, but I'm sure I won't get any boo-hoos from any of our Chicago listeners when I'm down there in Kentucky.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been cold. I mean, I was coming back from New Orleans the other morning, Friday morning, and I walk out of the hotel, man. I had like a t-shirt and shorts and flip-flops on and shit. And I was like, Jesus. Like,
it was like, got your ass.
I know. I pulled the hoodie out of the bag before as I got into the Uber, I was like, hang on a second. I had to pull a hoodie out of the bag and strap up, man. I was like, this shit is too cold for me right now.
Damn Southerners, man.
Yeah,
35 is balmy, dude. Like,
dude, I'm saying, like, I was a
short
kid.
weather all year.
Dude, as a kid in Chicago, I never wore a jacket. You know, like, we're just a bunch of idiots. Like, a bunch of, like, no jackets, no beanies, no nothing as a kid, just running around. Or you lose like 8 jackets a year and your mom tells you, good, get fucked. Like, I'm not buying you another one, you know? and you just kind of freeze. And now I'm just, dude, these old bones. I don't know. I'm not sure what the issue is. Dude, speaking of old bones, Mr. Tom Brady comes to town and he gets beat up a little bit, dude. You know,
he wasn't
comes
very
out
happy about it either.
Yeah, he starts off hot, but then the Bears go ahead and turn that thing around on him, man. Let's just get into a quick breakdown of this game. Anything, any little keys that you guys want to hit on, and then we'll go from there. So they come in. It looks dismal off the bat. We see a lot of nothing happening for us. And even, I mean, I'd even venture to say, even like almost on the defensive side of the ball, man, it seemed pretty dim there until the second quarter. Badge, what do you think, man? Getting after Brady at the beginning, or him coming down and they're putting up points right away. What was your thoughts in the first quarter of that game?
Well, the fact that they were able to hold them to a field goal on that first drive, I think was, I don't want to say it righted the defense, but it definitely was, I thought for sure they were getting 6 there. And the fact that they didn't just made me feel a little bit better about where we're going. Cause I feel like had they gotten 6 there, I think that game takes a different spin. And I just don't see us being able to put up enough points to be able to compete with them. But being that it didn't, and they were able to hold them to 3, and then they give up the touchdown. The next drive, they end up giving up another field goal. Finally, you see this team and this offense get something going. But it's taken too long. And I get that Nagy and Foles have to get used to each other and the way that Nagy calls a game and what Foles wants and so on and so forth. But, you don't, it's kind of getting to the point now where week 6, and it's still taking a little bit for us to get moving. I'm going to use that old adage from the Lovie Smith days. We get off the bus running the football. Well, we're not getting off the bus really doing anything in the first quarter, half of games, really, with the exception of the Giants game. So that's got to change. If this continues to happen this season and we're getting these come from behind wins and we're getting these breaks, at some point that's going to stop. So, that first quarter, I think they did enough to stay in the game. But this defense, guys, you have to admit while they started slow, man, they're finishing games strong.
Oh yeah.
And it really is saving the offense and giving the offense a chance to win games.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, this thing starts off and with like 7 minutes left, I think it was around 7 minutes left in the second quarter, we're down 13-0, man.
Yeah.
we're struggling. We seen on a 3rd and short, we seen Foles miss A-Rob. And then all the tweets come out with Trubisky. Trubisky would have made that throw, and I mean, I think it's time to put that shit to rest, man. Just whatever, leave Nick on the field and go. I know people are gonna say it. You got your Trubisky truthers and them out there saying, "Oh, he would have made this," and then we see Nick come back and miss Mooney on a deep ball, man. Like he missed him bad on a deep ball, and everybody was, glamoring on this dude's accuracy and this and that. So I'm not sure if they even came back after and said whether Mooney was just in the wrong spot or if Nick just missed him. But 13-0, man, with 7 minutes left in the second. And then, AC, I'll let you take it. Kyle Fuller. Go for it, buddy.
Well, I mean, I wanted to touch on the fact that we couldn't run the ball. And I know I bagged on Nagy last week, talking about he might be on the hot seat, but I really thought he had a pretty good game plan. Because when they took away the run, he was like, okay, I mean, y'all want to take away the run, we're going to curl you and slant you to death and until you adjust, which I thought was a really good move. The only thing that I had an issue with from the play calling, it seemed like the whole game, was that 2nd down when we were trying to kill the clock and kick a field goal, is when he went up to A-Rob.
Yep.
But I understand what he was trying to do. I mean, he was trying to. How many times have we seen a kicker go out there and not come through for us? So I can see both sides of it. But to me, I would have just ran the ball 2 more times, let that clock dwindle down, and kick us a field goal. But other than that, I thought Nagy had a good game plan, and I thought he had good play calls, and I like to see Foles. That clip of them on the sideline when he was like, "No, we need to go, we need to go, we need to go."
Yeah.
You want to speak of the other quarterback? I don't see him ever having the balls to do that. Talk to his head coach like that. Nick Foles is like, "What are you gonna do? Fire me?"
Yeah. Well, let's stay with Foles for a minute then. I mean, we'll get back to Fuller's big hit and all that here in a little bit, but Foles was. I mean, I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I think Nagy's game plan was shit, man. They only had 13 carries total in the game. I think he doesn't have enough confidence in his offensive line, and maybe it's proven that he shouldn't have confidence in his offensive line. So then you start seeing these swing passes, these wheel routes, these get the running backs involved through, short passes, get the running backs involved, and then come back and, try to hit a handoff when he can. The biggest runs were broken plays.
Right. Absolutely.
So, I mean, the biggest runs were broken plays of Montgomery cutting it back, and getting upfield. And there was a couple handoffs to Cordell Patterson that were good kind of bruiser runs, right? Yep. But it seems to me, and don't get me wrong, I like the kid. I think Montgomery's I like him in this offense. I think he's a good running back. Maybe not great, but I think he can be great. But it seems to me like every time he gets the ball, man, the hole is just either shifted or it's not where it's, not where it's supposed to be. And he's running his head right into the back of lineman, man, trying to make something happen. But on this whole offense and, the Foles accuracy thing with him he missed a wheel route out of the back. In the beginning, he underthrew a couple passes to A-Rob. We said he missed Mooney on the one throw. We got a little clip here on Nagy talking about Foles' accuracy and how, basically the way Nick was playing the game. So let's drop this in here real quick and then we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I would say probably what we'll see is the more and more he plays and gets comfortable in this system with these players, the more and more accurate he's going to become. So, whether you talk about a type of play or concept within our system that we start to filter through the likes and dislikes, and then you talk about going out there and doing it, and then you throw a specific defense of the week at them. But I really feel like at least this week in practice, really good week. And today in particular, I was really happy with the way that the offense practiced. The defense too, they've been having great practices. But today, the offense really did a good job just executing and the accuracies and that sort of thing. And a lot of times that usually transfers to Sunday, but we'll see.
Foles, I think it's going to be an adjustment, guys. You got to remember, he spent most of last year injured. Then he comes back, he gets a start, and ends up being replaced by Minshew. So the fact that he hasn't really played a ton over last season into this season, but at the same time, I think we got to remember the guy is a Super Bowl winning MVP. Granted, it's as a backup. You don't want to take it away from him. My problem with him is this. He doesn't look at times like any better than what we had in Mitch. Bobby, you mentioned it when you first started talking about him. He misses Mooney on that deep ball. Now, if it were Mitch, I think he would have overthrew him. Foles was 5 or 6 yards short of hitting Mooney. So I don't know if Mooney ran a wrong route, but at this point in time in this offense, and I think back to last week, we talked about how the execution and route running hasn't been very good for this team. And I mean, why are we in year 3 still talking about the route running and so on and so forth with these guys? You still hear it about Anthony Miller. You hear beat reporters being posing questions, to the coaches and players and to the quarterback about, oh, well, what happened here? Oh, well, we got to make sure the routes are better. What is so difficult about the routes in this offense that these wide receivers can't seem to get them down? Is there some newfangled routes being taught in Chicago that other teams don't know about?
Yeah. So, on the first thing you touched on the Nick versus Mitch thing, I think, for me, I don't really think they're the same, right? I think Nick brings way more leadership to the team. I think he brings way more accountability to the players, and to the coach. I mean, like AC was saying earlier, we've seen him yelling on the sidelines and that. On the second thing, I kind of think that we just scrutinize this team more than other teams scrutinize theirs. I don't know if that's possible, but I'm pretty certain that the Bears are just scrutinized way more than other teams. And Nagy, because you see other quarterbacks missing throw. I mean, granted, I know they're 0-5 now, but you've seen Matt Ryan throw a damn pick in the end zone on what could have possibly been like a game-tying drive late in the fourth. And, you see these other quarterbacks falling apart, and you don't ever, maybe it's just because we're not in that media stream or outlet, but you don't really see anybody, shitting on them or doing whatever. And then, me being stationed in North Carolina, you haven't heard anything about how well Bridgewater's doing or how bad he's doing, right? All you've really heard is how CMC's out and done. And, we'll get into that stuff later, but they're not scrutinized like Chicago media scrutinizes their people.
Yeah, my neighbor's a Colts fan, and he told me that this week. He's like, you guys are 4-1. I mean, how are you not happy with your team? And I'm like, yeah, we're 4-1, but I don't know. I don't know. I guess we have higher expectations for our team.
Look at the disrespect we get, though. I mean,
nationally.
We go into games, we're 4-1. We're going into this game as an underdog. Mm-hmm. So that, you get the disrespect nationally, and then your local media members that are involved in all this, I mean, they're going to pose some of those same questions that national media is asking that you're seeing on these national media stations. To me, I feel this fan base is so passionate about this team that they know a lot about the game, and that's why we are the way we are. We expect better from this team and this organization. And yes, we're 4-1, but come on, guys, it's been a lot of luck and things and plays going our way. Because let's be honest, that Fuller hit on Vaughn, if it goes the other way, what happens then? I mean, the Bucks get all that momentum.
Pick it up.
Yeah, right. The Bucks get all that momentum, and who knows? I mean, it's you guys know, Bobby, you've coached, you've played, AC, same
Game of
thing.
inches.
It is. And
Yeah, but this is what good teams do, man. Good teams win these games.
they've
many
capitalized.
How many years have we seen a Bears team that loses by 7 or
All
less
short.
points?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was
Yep.
it wasn't last year, but either way, there was like a string of like 10 games or 11 games that we lost by less than 10 points. You know, and good teams find ways to win these games. And whether or not
a lot of those
Go
John
ahead.
Fox teams lost by small
Mhm.
margins. They were always in it. They just couldn't grab the brass ring. They were just right there.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, this defense is going to keep us in the games, right? The defense is going to keep us there. They're going to keep us going, man. It's shown. Granted, they're not the turnover machine that they once were. You know, they're not getting the ball like that, but
Right.
on time, like against Brady, I mean, the only touchdown Tom Brady scored was in the first freaking quarter. That's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
They're holding
That's
teams
it.
to field goals. Yep. And our offense
You know?
has just got to pick it up a little bit.
And like we said last week on the show, we need Brady frustrated, man. We need him pissed off and throwing shit and screaming at people on the
Absolutely.
sidelines. And then as soon as it
And
happened,
not knowing what down it is.
yeah, as soon as it happened, we were like, you know, I think it was like 3rd and 30, and then Jensen goes and headbutts either Eddie or Jalen or one of them. Yeah, he headbutts one of them, and then it's like, you know, I was sitting there like, hell yeah, throw him out. Like, but
Tommy's like, are you freaking kidding me?
I
What is
know.
wrong with
After
you?
that, he gets to the sidelines, man, and he just starts going off on people. And that's exactly what you need. You need
Yep.
when you have the GOAT as your quarterback and he comes to the sidelines and starts putting doubt into his own players' heads by doing shit like that. There's like, sometimes it'll fire you up, but sometimes it puts doubt in your head. And I think that that's exactly what we needed in order to flip that thing around and get after it, man.
You look at what the defense did to their offense. It held them to 11 points below their season average. I mean, you can't. I mean, Roquan Smith, I thought played one of his best games of the season so far. Khalil Mack, guys, if Khalil Mack is healthy, holy shit, I feel bad for Teddy Bridgewater today because Khalil Mack looked like a man possessed last Thursday night, and the way he freaking WWE hip tossed Tristan Wirfs after that sack. Man, I jumped up out of my chair. I had to rein myself in. I didn't want to wake anybody up.
Man.
Yeah.
And then, so this whole, I mean, I know, you know, you mentioned Roquan and that, and I think Roquan missed a couple big tackles, man. There was a couple third downs there that he missed.
Big runs, yeah. 2 of their big runs was Roquan missed in the backfield, but
yeah, but like Chris Emery saying in the chat, he's like, we always get so disrespected by the media, but we play ugly football. Great defense. But what's different is we can't run the ball like we have in the past. That's a big, it's obviously correct. We can't run the ball. I don't think we've really seen a team that runs the ball well under Nagy. And it was kind of blamed on Heastan before. And then Nagy came out and was, you know, he's talking about how he's trying to get everyone involved and this and that. And you got to spread the ball around. And I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have with his coaching philosophy is where he feels like these are, you know, junior high or high school kids who need the ball. Like, why don't we just go with what works and go with what's putting points on the board and who's open instead of trying to get it to specific people. But we got this little drop right here. Let's throw this thing in there and then we'll talk about this.
When you have different personnel groupings and then you have different types of players and you know, whether that's an Anthony Miller, a Mooney, an A-Rob, and then the tight ends and the running backs, and there's a lot of guys. And so really what this offense over the years has been predicated on is not necessarily trying to force targets too much to too many guys. And you just kind of let the defense dictate who's going to have the big game. And so now at times, if we feel like we need to get somebody the ball, we'll do that. And we have our target list and sorts. But the biggest thing for our offense right now is that we just try to get into this rhythm that we know we feel like we're really close to. and getting into a rhythm to where we can really help out the defense and let them do their thing and then end the game in 4-minute mode. So we're trying every day to get to that.
Yeah, sometimes, man, you just got to ride the hot hand. And he's talking about spreading the ball around and stuff, which, I mean, I guess is all right. But, I mean, Aldo pulled up that target list, and you could see Allen Robinson's like double anyone else on the team. And I feel like Jimmy Graham is only being used in the red zone. Like, we're not using him to get down there, but once we get down there, then they want to throw him the jump ball.
Well, we're not using the tight end at all. Except for the red zone. Let's be honest here. I mean, we talked ad nauseum about it last week. How they're not. You know, the one of the first things Nagy said in his pressers, and not to repeat myself time and time again, but you know, they needed a tight end on this offense to be an impact player. And yes, we're getting that from Jimmy Graham in the red zone, but it's rare you see a tight end with a catch prior to that. I know Demetrius Harris had a catch, I want to say early in the second quarter, maybe during the game, if my memory serves me correctly. But Allen Robinson clearly is the guy on this offense right now. He's the top most targeted receiver, and he's making plays at the same time. I mean, this is the guy you want to put the ball in his hands. And the reason for that is he runs really good routes. And yes, AC making that money sign. Chicago Bears, I am begging you at this point, please pay this man his money. Because if he wasn't here in this offense, who's making these plays? Who? Please, I'm begging you.
I mean, and you got to look at it. I mean, with the whole Allen thing and Allen being involved, a thing came out last week that said how since 2018, Allen Robinson is like the most used wide receiver in any offense. And we're still sitting here talking about pay this man. Is what I don't get, and people are still questioning whether or not he's a number one. This dude is. I got the numbers right here.
Mitch Trubisky look good, dude. You're number one wide receiver.
Dude, it's ridiculous. He's since 2018, the highest percentage of teams' total passing offense is what he is. And then he's also right now got the 56 targets without a drop. That's more than D-Hop. It's more, than the people who are supposedly the top wide receivers in the league. And back to with Jimmy Graham and that, Jimmy had a couple catches that were, they weren't in the red zone. They were like desperately needed, catches to get the ball moving downfield. There was a one on the sidelines where Harris was actually wide open and Nick was kind of scrambling out, but the ball was thrown to Graham and Graham pulled it in and got the first down. So to go back and kind of judge that, I mean, whatever, I'm good. You got the first down. But I just think, well, there's a target. So Jimmy Graham's still number second on the Bears with, in total targets. And I think no matter what, he still provides that threat that somebody has to be on him, unlike we've seen in years past where nobody was really worried about the tight end. They were, whatever.
Yeah. That one-handed catch in the end zone was friggin' nice.
Yeah, that was bomb. That was
and the catch. Dude, the swag after it, he had it in. He wasn't even on the ground yet. And you seen that, like, his face just lit up. And he's like, here we go. You know what I mean?
He was like
ready to get.
I caught that.
Yeah. And, for all Bears fans, there was a little rejoicing in us finally getting our first rushing touchdown of the season.
Our man David called it.
Yeah, David Montgomery gets the first rushing touchdown of the season. But we have still yet to see points scored in the third quarter.
Yeah, there's that catch from Jimmy Graham right there, guys. That one-hander. Oh, that's a beaut.
And look at it. He's already looking at him like he knows he's got it, and he's just already starting the little swag to it. And that's what we need out of these guys. We need a little fire and and like tenacity just to fire everybody up and get after it, man. But we're still, like we were saying, we're still seeing a team that hasn't scored points in the third quarter. I don't know if they're the only team in the NFL, but we haven't scored any points in the third quarter. When you rely on your defense this much, to keep pulling you out of games, there has to be your offense eventually has to come around, man. I don't know. It's a struggle to sit through the third quarter and hope that we're going to get some points.
I don't know how to explain it. When I was watching that game last Thursday, I was like, well, it's the third quarter. Holy crap, we haven't scored in the third quarter again. And I was just like, how? I mean, I don't understand how we're not. I don't know if it's just the offense coming out sluggish from halftime, or I don't know what.
Where's the adjustments? That's my question, AC. Is you would, most teams in the NFL, if they finish a first half the way that offense did in the second half, you expect to see more of the same. Yeah. And they finish strong. Mm-hmm. But then they come out and it's like the game started over again. They're back to being flat.
Yeah.
Somehow they've got to figure out a way to come out of the tunnel when that third quarter starts with a rocket up their ass and really coming out and making a play, whether it's on the defensive side of the ball, if it's the offense. Something's got to give in this third quarter today, guys. I don't know what it is, but somebody's got to come out ready to smash somebody's face mask against their head. If you remember that clip from a few seasons ago, the player that smashed his head into somebody's helmet when he wasn't wearing his. If somebody's got to do that, do it. Yeah. Whatever's going to.
Those teams are playing today. The Browns and the Steelers are playing again today.
Well, we also seen him take his helmet off and try to smash somebody's head with it. So
yeah,
I mean, that was true. That was a thing
the only
too.
Guy to ever take
I don't mean in that way.
We got Perry Lambert in the chat says we will see today. 10 points in the third quarter. Mark it down. He says a pick six and a field goal. So he's not relying on the offense to score.
I mean, the offense ain't doing it. We're getting 10 points.
We're not relying on. We're still not relying on the offense to score. Dude. So Nagy, is this dude just unpredictable or is he dumb?
He's dumb. Mean, I don't like to say it, but I mean, why is his offense? Why does it take so long to get it going? Why can't these players execute? I said it earlier in the show. Why is it that we're missing on deep balls? You saw Foles with Mooney 5-6 yards behind him. What is it? Why can't this offense under Matt Nagy move the football? There's times where they'll put a little bit of a drive together, and I think that's been the saving grace of the offense is they start to move the ball. Then all of a sudden on first down or second and long, they're trying to run a wide receiver screen to the outside. Yeah. Teams don't buy that shit. They just don't. And is he predictable? Yes, he is very predictable. And that's why he's dumb, I think, is because he's so predictable.
Well, I think he's trying to be unpredictable, and what it really just comes out as is inconsistent. Because he doesn't ride the hot hand. He doesn't give anyone the chance to get hot, to be said hot hand. And I feel like on that on one of those drives last week where Foles, even the commentators touched on it. They were like, he's hot and cold. And he's streaky, and we're seeing it all here in this game. Like in the first quarter, he was cold, and then all of a sudden he caught fire, and I think he hit 8 or 9 passes in a row or something like that.
And a majority of them were to Allen Robinson.
Yeah, right. 4 in a row.
3 or 4 in a row, right, Bobby? I know you and I were watching the game back last night. AC, I'm assuming you probably did the same. Yeah. And if A-Rob's getting open that much, you got to give him the football because he's not only he'll catch the ball, but he can make guys miss as well. And I think that's an underrated part of his game that doesn't get talked about a lot. You think back to him joining the organization, and there's been times you saw it in I think it was in Atlanta where he slipped under that one tackle, broke for 30 yards and a touchdown. And last week he did the same thing on that drive we're talking about. He caught a pass and slipped away from a guy to pick up some extra yardage. So you got to get the ball in his hands. He's clearly your best opportunity as a playmaker. And you can move him around. You see him making plays out of the slot. You see him making plays outside. Got to continue to feed Allen Robinson on this team. No question about it.
Yeah, and we got, a little update there in the chat that Mooney ran the wrong route. I mean, if that continues to happen with these guys, obviously the confidence in these other wide receivers is going to be gone, and we're going to be back to just the Allen Robinson show. And I get, on this, maybe he was supposed to break it off super late, but normally when they're that far downfield, there's really no more of changing up the route. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Right.
route has changed. The route has changed within the first 12 yards of the route itself. So to have Mooney that far downfield and wide open, I get he ran the wrong route. Maybe Nick couldn't see him, but you should still be able to get that ball out there
on that throw too, though, didn't he?
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know, man. That's just me, but who knows? It could be completely off. But I just think that when a dude's that open downfield, you should still be able to get him the damn ball. And go from there.
At least to make it catchable, so it gives him a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even catchable.
Yeah, exactly. Bears defense, man. Obviously, we said they frustrated Tom Brady. We seen Tom throwing a fit on the sidelines, doing whatever. We seen the no handshake at the end of the game. And I know the new COVID rules state that players are not supposed to come out and shake hands after the game, but you still seen some of the Tampa Bay players and Bears players come out and do it. You guys in the chat, let us know your thoughts. Should he have come out? Look at him looking
Brady's
at Matt.
face,
That's the best part of it.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This
And
dude's a man.
Yeah, the hip toss, and he just wasn't having it. Mac turned up, came after him. We saw Vaughters come in and get a sack in this game
too.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of pressure on him for a team that had, or said to have one of the better offensive lines and top offenses in the league. Man, this defense literally, they got after him. Like we mentioned earlier, 13 points in the first half, and then after that, it was all field goals, man. 6 points in the second half. They held them, and they allowed the offense the time and the ability to produce. And, we seen what we got out of it. But this defense, they're stepping it up, dude. They're still a top team. They've gone against some really good quarterbacks. And today we got old Teddy coming in. So, AC, man, thoughts on the defense and how they played this second half and, getting after it.
It's really been a bend but don't break defense. The way they've they let teams get down the field, but they don't let them get in the end zone. I believe we're like number 1 in the league in red zone defense, and like first or second in like third down conversion or something like that. I saw a stat earlier this week.
Yeah.
I didn't screenshot it or anything, and that really is how we see them playing on the field. Those numbers have shown us what they look like, and they've given the offense time to sort of get it together. And I do want to say that Foles had 2 wheel routes in the fourth quarter that were just gorgeous that he just dropped in the bucket. I know we're talking defense now, but I didn't want to skip over that when we were talking Foles. And I just think the defense, I mean, they're coming out, they're playing their butts off, man. There's no other way around it. And we saw last week what happens when you try to block Khalil Mack with just one man. It ain't working, buddy. It's not going to happen. So that's the whole reason why they brought in Quinn. And if we don't see something change, I mean, maybe Quinn shows up this week. I don't know.
Chuck Pagano said it, AC, when he said, this is Khalil Mack's healthy, and this is the first time since he's been here that he's healthy.
Report all week. Yeah.
So I think that's that's trouble for the quarterbacks that are coming in to face the Chicago Bears, because if he's healthy, you've seen this man dominate this league time and time again, and if he's feeling it, whew, man, I'm nervous for Teddy Bridgewater today, man.
And our secondary is playing really well. I mean, I think Jalen Johnson and Kyle Fuller. Like, I benched Robbie Anderson today on my fantasy team. I don't know if nobody wants to hear about my fantasy team.
Since I'm playing you, I appreciate that, man.
Hey, I'm telling you, that's the amount of confidence I have in Kyle Fuller today. The way they've been able to shut wide receivers down. Other than, I mean, in Atlanta they had like one big pass play to Ridley, but I'm just saying the way our secondary is playing is incredible. You know,
we did see Jalen get beat a couple times, man. But
they're gonna test him because
but I'm okay. I mean, it's that bend don't break. You know what I mean? It's whatever. It's a bend don't break defense. We've seen him get tested a couple times. He gave up a few here and there. He had the one pass interference call. There was the one throw that Tom threw up to Mike Evans that was Evans was looking back and forth like 3 times over the shoulder, couldn't track the ball, and lost it.
Yep.
But it's been a bend don't break defense. But I think last week we saw some of the bigger hits that we've seen, this season. Perry Lambert to the
Keyshawn Vaughn, welcome to the league, baby.
Oh, I know. I mean, Quinn, not Quinn. Roquan came up and laid a big hit on the tight end across the middle there, man, where he just stuck him and the ball came out.
Yep.
And we've seen a couple big shots. And then we got Perry Lambert in the chat saying he thinks Robert Quinn will have a big day today. I think he will too. I think, this defense will all come together, man. But what the part that I don't want to see is normally if one guy's having a big day, it's because another guy's getting more attention. You know what I'm saying? So Quinn to have a big day and Mac to have a big day, and Akeem, I don't think you're going to see all 3 of them ball out. It's because the focus has to be on someone, and the next guy's going to do his thing, man. So I think there's so many
that this D-line, Bobby, and these outside and Khalil Mack has lacked since he's come to Chicago is that person to help or to take the pressure. Khalil takes the pressure and someone else gets those opportunities. And last season and so far this season, that really hasn't happened with the exception of Robert Quinn, in that Giants game, and Akeem up until last week. And he still played well, not to take anything away from him, but we haven't had that guy step up. And that first season in 2018, oh my gosh, everybody was making plays on that defense. You couldn't find a guy that couldn't make a play. So I think that's part of this. And what has to happen if Khalil is getting blocked by 2-3 people, somebody has to step up and take advantage of the matchup they have. And so far, yes, it's happened a little bit this season, but it needs to be consistent. I think I said it last week that this team has been consistently inconsistent, and that starts from the coaching down. Yeah. The defense is playing well. I mean, they're still giving up 100 yards rushing. Rojo had over 100 last week. But guys, they're shutting it down on third down. They're the number 2 defense on third down, and they're not giving up touchdowns. They are the number 1 defense in the red zone. And if you didn't watch last Thursday's game, I suggest you go back and watch it because they shut the Bucs down with the exception of the 1 touchdown.
There's DeAndre Houston Carson there.
Yeah. So were you guys surprised to see that Buster Screen ended up getting defensive player of the game?
Yeah, I saw that. I think I saw it on Twitter or something. He was showing the ball that they gave him. The game. And I mean, I guess when you don't hear a corner's name called very much, it means they're not getting beat. I mean, I don't know.
Watching back last night, he was around the ball quite a bit, I thought. And I thought he made some good plays in the run game. At times I think he does get I don't want to say burnt, but he does get beat in the pass game a little bit. I noticed it a little bit on crossing routes.
It's tough in the slot, man, because that's when you're facing usually the other team's fastest wide receiver. They stick them in the slot so they can do those little crossing routes, those little slant routes, etc.
Yep.
So to me, I played outside linebacker. They just told me go hit the quarterback. That's not too difficult. But when you're in the slot, you don't have the sideline boundary to help you out and play like an extra defender. And you've got to follow these, usually the quickest wide receiver on the other team all around the field. So just to not be getting burned every play is awesome. And I just want to say I'm rocking Akeem Hicks today because I think he's going to have himself a day. I just want to let everybody know where I'm leaning today.
I think you're going to see Robert Quinn come out and do some damage today and have get after it, man. And I think we're the one of the main things, and I know we'll get into the Panthers offense on that later, is to contain Teddy. I think if Teddy gets out there, and Davis, I get it. Davis is breaking a lot of tackles and whatever, right? But I don't know. But maybe I just don't think Mike Davis could be the X factor and win this game.
This game circled on his calendar. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Game. But Teddy Bridgewater, to me, he doesn't really run around a whole lot. What he does is just efficient, accurate throws. Like he'll just slant and curl you to death until you adjust. And those, they got a lot of speed on the outside, and they can do a lot with those short little passes.
So are you telling me that Teddy Bridgewater throws clean balls? Is that what you're telling me? Because I mean, speaking of clean balls, Manscaped has a Halloween promo coming at you. And, don't carve your pumpkins. What does a guy call his best friends? His testes besties, man. Halloween's right around the corner, and you don't want to spook someone with your scary bushes. Our friends at Manscaped want to help your boys downstairs clean your best friends of their own. Manscaped is the #1 men's below-the-waist grooming and offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Maybe you're wearing a Chewbacca outfit, or costume this year. Maybe you're going with Bigfoot, but underneath the costume has to be clean, man. You got to get it clean down there. You don't want to be all nasty and just looking like fall leaves down there, like a bag of leaves from your front yard. Get over to Manscaped, get the perfect package 3.0. Use code BARROOM20 for 20% off and free shipping and handling. You just got to get down there, man. Get there's the whole magic mat. There's, the ball deodorant, I guess you want to call it, the little ball saver. These are the things that you need to get, man. Get your Halloween. Just start giving them out. Give them out to people who come to your door for Halloween. Get over to manscaped.com. 20% off, like we said. Free shipping and handling. Use code BARROOM20 and, hook it up, man. Get after that thing. Make your testes their besties. Manscaped.
Heck yeah.
So there we go. There's our little Manscaped plug for the day. Like we said, get over there, man. This thing's, get your Christmas shopping done. Get all that stuff done. Get over there. Send them out to your boys so they can hook up their own boys. And, like we normally say, let your most important fantasy players see the field, man. They got to be able to. They got to be able to see the field, and they ain't gonna be able to see the field if there's too much shit in their face. All right, let's
a couple of those barracks barbers out there, or Bobby.
Yeah, I mean
those barracks barbers, they got to have a little touch up before Monday morning formation.
Yeah, giving the old bowl haircuts, man. But I don't know if I trust any of them trying to do up my boys. Dude, we got a bunch of people in the chat. There's one I wanted to comment on, and I'm trying to scroll up. We got a little giveaway coming for you guys here shortly too. And now
I wanted to touch on Ron Rupnow's question. He said, how mobile is Teddy after the injury? Which I know we'll talk about the game coming up, but I don't think Teddy's hampered by that injury at all, Ron. Just a quick comment on that, and as we get previewing this game, you'll hear more on why.
Yeah, and I mean, Teddy's already got a rushing touchdown this year. He's already shown he can get out there and do it. But Teddy is he's doing a lot of those underneath. He's doing a lot of the short passes. We'll get into all that here in a second. I wanted to comment on Darren Chambers. His comment earlier, again, love your guys' show. Go Bears. My dad has been a Bears fan his whole life, and he got me into them and hope for a shout out someday. Watch your show every Sunday. So Mr. Darren Chambers, there's your shout out, brother. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your support and being here with us in the chat. And Mr. Badgley, let's kick it over to you for a little Bears Panthers history lesson, and then let's get into a little giveaway.
Heck yeah. So this may shock some people, but the Bears and Panthers have played each other 10 times since the Panthers have come into the league, right? And the Bears lead that series 6 wins with 6 wins. Their last matchup, the Bears won 17-3 on October 22nd, 2017. And so we're, about what? Less than 6 days away from when that happened a few years ago. So to get into the trivia portion of this show, we have a sticker to give away. And that trivia question is this: from that game on October 22nd of 2017, who scored the Bears' only 2 touchdowns? And I'm going to add to it, you don't have to give the answer, but what were they? So if you want to go ahead, the first person in the chat to answer correctly will win a sticker right here from the Barfly Tailgate Show. So again, who was the only player to score 2 touchdowns in the Bears' last matchup with the Carolina Panthers? And it looks like we already got a winner here in Trey Mack. Trey Mack, man. Eddie Jackson, you are correct, sir. And guys, it was a 75-yard fumble return first for a touchdown, and then a 76-yard interception return for a touchdown. And then, I'm going to say this name, Connor Barth added a field goal after those 2 touchdowns. And the scoring, that was it. In the second quarter, nobody else scored for the rest of the game. Final score, 17-3.
Barf also missed a field goal in that game, like the second quarter. I think it was before anything was done. But,
it was, yeah. So man. Trey Mack, man, look, hit the Barfly Tailgate up on Twitter, Instagram, message me on Facebook, whatever, and we'll get you a Bojack sticker out to you, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Congrats, Trey. Eddie carried that game. That was a game where you seen the strip. Eddie scoops it up, runs. They thought he stepped out of bounds. He didn't. Then I think it was Fuller popped that ball, that sky high ball, man, that Eddie just came up under and skirted down the sidelines again for another touchdown, man. And obviously it was a Cam Newton, different head coaches all around. So it might not hold any weight in this game, but it still is, was when the Bears that defense was on fire with turnovers that year, man, and just getting after the ball. But yeah, Trey, hit us up in any of the social media stuff. And obviously you have to be comfortable with sending us your address, man, so we can send pizzas and shit to your house. I mean, stickers. But hit us up in any of the things, bro, man.
I'll give you my address.
and we'll get it out to you. Panthers offense. Is that you want to go with Panthers offense? Here we go. Panthers all around, man. Panthers are on a 3-game winning streak. They started off this thing 0-2, I believe.
0-2.
Yeah. And now it's starting to come together. Christian McCaffrey, obviously, if you don't know, he's done for the year. He's out, and it makes this offense a little less, it makes them. It's easier for them to hide shit, right? You're not sure what they're going to do now, because before you could key McCaffrey, where their main guy is going to be, who's going to get the most touches, and with McCaffrey being gone, man, it's opened up the field for these Mike Davises, for these Robbie Andersons.
Man.
Going into this game, I think one of the biggest things that's shown for this Carolina team is their new head coach in Matt Rule. This is a guy who's turned around countless, just horrible college systems. He's turned them all around. He's changed basically the character of these organizations. And now we see him, as a guy who starts out 0-2, loses their prize player, and has made this team still come out and turn into what they currently are, man. Thoughts on Rule and this Panthers season so far?
When they first hired Matt Rule, I was like, really? That's the dude you're going with? But I mean, he's got them playing well, and he's spreading the ball around. It's not And I don't know if that's from the McCaffrey injury or if that's just the way he's planning on going forward. Maybe we don't see McCaffrey being 95% of their offense anymore. Maybe that's the best way to attack it.
Yeah.
But the three wins that they've gotten, and I feel like this is something they would say if the Bears had that same record, is against the Chargers, who have blown a bunch of fourth quarter leads, the Falcons, who have blown a bunch of fourth quarter leads,
included the people in their parking lot. Go
ahead, and Arizona, who I thought Arizona was going to be really good this year. Like, I mean, they look great on Madden probably, but on the field, I mean, the Lions beat them, and they're just, I don't know what the issue is out there in Arizona. So they are on a 3-game win streak.
Yeah.
And I will give them all the credit in the world for that. It's difficult to win any week in this league, but it's not like they were playing the Packers, the Seahawks, and the Chiefs or anything like that. So I feel like this is, I guess we'll touch on it later on the Bears offense, but I think we're going to have a pretty good game this week, to be honest.
Yeah, I would piggyback off of what you said, AC. Matt Rule, I think, has, when you win games in this league, it helps what you're trying to do as the head coach of this team in the NFL. And, they've won 3 in a row. So this team is exuding confidence, as they should be. The offense is running the ball very well with Mike Davis. Very, very well. Mike Davis, was on our roster last year. A bunch has been made of it. Why isn't he here now? If this guy was this good, yada, yada, yada. Well, at this point, it doesn't matter. He's part of the Carolina Panthers organization. As Bobby mentioned, McCaffrey is out, will not play. Davis has been carrying the load for this team, and he's ran the ball very well behind a very good offensive line. Today is not going to be easy for this defense. They're going to have to make plays. They're going to have to continue to do what they've done in the past. Mike Davis, I think, will get his yards. The big thing is keeping this team out of the end zone. Robbie Anderson, this is a guy who, with the Jets, most of his career until coming to Carolina, played for Matt Rule. And, with the Jets, he was known as just a deep threat. Mm-hmm. Clearly, he's not a deep threat. He's being used, and Matt Rule clearly knows how to use him. Running shorter routes. Yes, he's had some deep catches with the Panthers as well, but he's become a playmaker basically on every down for this team. Yeah. So this offense for Carolina can move the football. Then you got Teddy back there. I mean, we saw what Teddy did to us last year with the Saints. This isn't going to be easy. He can still move in the pocket. I question his accuracy from time to time. There are times where, when the ball comes out of his hand, I'm like, oh gosh, that kind of looked bad. But he's helped this team win 3 in a row with his play, not turning the ball over. Bobby mentioned earlier he's got a rushing touchdown. So this is going to be a good matchup, a good test for us this week defensively, and how we can stop this run game from Carolina. John Jenkins is back for the Bears on defense. I definitely think that is going to be a big boost for this defensive line. It'll get an extra body in there with some reps to hopefully help slow Mike Davis down. Yeah,
I agree. I think this is going to be, just like you said, it's going to be a huge test. And what we've struggled with this year has been stopping the run. So it's going to be not only will it be a Mike Davis revenge game, but like last week, Rojo had over 100 yards. I think he did. Did we hold him without a touchdown? I can't recall his exact stat line, but
he didn't have a touchdown.
Yeah, he had the rolling. Remember the roll?
Oh, that's right.
That he wasn't touched. Yeah, but Davis. So I get Davis. I think Davis is a hard-nosed runner, right?
Yeah, dude.
But I'd have to go back and look, but I don't think Davis has put up over 100-yard rushing game yet. He's had a couple of games where total yards, right, with from scrimmage, where he's catching the ball out of the backfield and this, that, whatever. But granted, we also seen Adrian Peterson and some of these running backs come in and put up big plays, big chunk yards on us. And, it's obviously worked. It's been okay because we're still pulling the victories away. But Davis is definitely a factor, man. And before we got a little clip of Davis, before I move into that, somebody asked in the chat, am I drinking water or beer? The only thing I have to say on that is if any of your friends, the factor one, if any of your friends drink beer with a straw, unfriend that fucker. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not, it's water, man. That's not the way things should work. But Mike Davis, obviously Davis was a Bear. We let him go in order for him basically not to reach the,
let him go to get a comp pick because
to get our comp pick back, and to not. It was like if he was there after week 6, I forget the exact details, but either way, it is kind of like a revenge game for him, and he's coming back or not coming back. He's playing Chicago because we're going to Carolina today. But
I think that comp pick is what we sent to Jacksonville for Foles too, is it not?
Yeah, it is. Yep. It is. Yep, it's the one we flipped over to them. So. Who knows? Either way, you probably relate them all together, but Davis had some words to say on facing these Bears. So let's drop that clip in here real quick and then go from there.
Mike, were you pissed off when the Bears waived you last year? And how come they really didn't give you much of a shot?
Of course, anybody would be pissed off when they're cut. I don't know any other way to take it. But as far as the opportunities, I honestly I can't tell you. I don't know what happened in that department.
Davis puts a move on and has room. Mike Davis powering his way.
I'm just treating it like another game. Like I said, I'm a veteran, so I don't want to go out there and try to do more than what I do. So I don't want to just go out there and try to make make a play and it end up being bad. So I'm treating it as a regular week for me.
Yeah, I like Mike Davis. I think the organization, you heard Nagy say it all week. People asking, when's Lamar Miller going to play? Are we going after Le'Veon Bell? This, that, the other thing, you've heard him say it all week. He likes their running back room. The organization likes the running back room. So, excuse me. Davis, I think he's going to get his touches. You saw on the highlights, they use him well in the screen game. They use him out of the backfield to catch passes. He can run the ball very well, too. I don't take what he said, as a shot. Personally, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. He was frustrated. I'm pissed. I got cut, for a comp pick. Like, I get that. I would be too. Now, is he going to play with a little extra something on a little chip on it? Oh, absolutely. He wants to show this organization what they lost out on by not giving him carries and cutting him, in the end of the season. So I'm sure there's going to be a little chip on his shoulder, but it is what it is. The defense has got to come out and do their job. It's different when you're not in pads and you're talking to reporters versus when you're on the field standing in pads and talking to Akeem Hicks and Roy Ramirez and Bilal Nichols and Khalil Mack. It's going to be a whole different game when you're out on that field. You want to talk then, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and I think it's just Davis is just a professional, man. I'm surprised he even said he was pissed, honestly. For him to show that this game has a little more something to it I was kind of surprised. But I wouldn't put any of that on Davis. This is all on Nagy not knowing how to operate with these dudes, man. Like none of it's his fault. And it's not like Bears fans were like, we need to get rid of him because he's shit and he's not, doing anything. They were like, well, we need to get rid of him so we can get our comp pick back because we're not going to use him.
We're not going to use this guy. We might as well get a draft pick for it.
Exactly. Yeah. If we're not using him in the system, then let's just, let him go. And I don't think that there was really anybody who could say, well, I hated Mike Davis on this team. Like there wasn't anything to really prove. There were no things that were, big plays, end of the game, dropped, or blew this play, blew that play type thing. I think it's just everybody just wanted the pick back, man.
Well, he came in as the third running back and never really was able to bust through that depth chart. And I don't know if that's just Nagy liking his guys and not even giving him a shot, or if that was him not showing them something or anything in practice. I don't know which one it was, but he was never gave a shot. And at the time I was like, well, if we're not going to use him, just like you said, Bobby, if we're not going to use him, we might as well get a draft pick out of it. So, and we flipped that for our current starting quarterback. So not too bad, I guess.
Let me go off of this real quick. Mike Zorn in the chat said Bojack and Gibson have been a little quiet, but our corners have been solid. I think if you're talking about turnovers, maybe a little quiet, but Gibson has one of our only picks. He said
that Gibson against Atlanta.
Yeah, dude, Gibson was coming up and laying some hits, and I mean, there was one that
he was there.
Yeah, Gronk knew he was there for sure, man. And then he even made Gronk's hip pop, and the dude started feeling like he was an old man. He got up doing the little the little pimp walk, needing a cane.
Rolling out of bed every day.
Yeah, Bojack has been a little quiet on the pick side, I guess. But Bojack's game is Bojack. If you go back and watch some of these games, and of course, Mike, we want to see more because everybody expects more out of the defense, as in turnovers and stuff like that. But if you go back and watch some of these games, Bojack plays a mental game with these wide receivers, man.
Well, some of those Brady overthrows was because, and he said it himself, I believe, he saw Eddie Jackson there, so he tried to kind of get it up over Eddie Jackson. I think the Mike Evans throw into the end zone that was an overthrow. He saw Eddie Jackson there trying to cut into it, so that was a part of the reason why it was overthrown.
And you've seen the chatter on the field back and forth too, where Bojack had Mike Evans pissed off, man. He was going, and if you can, if the dude's gonna let you in mentally and let you get in there, hey, let's get it. A lot of the Bojack, I would say turnovers have been fumbles scooped up, have been balls popped up in the air where he gets back and under. That's just the game that he plays. And Clint says in here, Clint Jefferson, coverage is Bojack's game. It is. Bojack is a beast when it comes to that stuff, man. So I think those guys have been. I mean, I'd obviously rather have them than Conte, but but I think they've been good for that, and
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
The one thing that I want to see improvement on from linebackers, defensive backs, safeties, tackling. I feel like our tackling, aside from the defensive line, you see guys trying to take the legs out and running backs spinning off of Kyle Fuller or Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, you see a lot of guys just throwing a shoulder at somebody.
Yeah, wrap up, guys. Is it a risk sticking your arm out? Absolutely, it could. But these guys gotta wrap. Throwing your shoulder into some guy to try to knock him out, it doesn't work in this game anymore.
And damn sure won't work against Mike Davis.
Damn sure. You're damn right.
Yeah.
These guys got to wrap up in this secondary. And even the linebackers, to a degree, you saw, I thought Roquan played a good game, but he did miss twice in the backfield, where he had Rojo. All you got to do is get your arms around him.
The one was a third down, and the other one, I think it was a second, and it went for a big play, man. And like you said, we seen Gibson come down and Eddie. I think Jalen was in there too. There was three dudes that were just shoulder tackles, and
Kyle Fuller had one too. Granted, he was on his knees and tried to throw the shoulder into his legs, but Kyle, you're down. Just grab him with an arm. It's easy for me to sit here and say that as I'm sitting in a nice freaking recliner, all comfy, but you got to be able to get out on the field and make plays. And, you stop these guys in run situations and put them in second and long, third and long. That's going to get you off the field quicker as a defense. And the ball goes back to your offense now for them to try to make some big plays. And I think that's as long as the defense shores up that tackling, doesn't allow these big gains in the run game, you're going to see them getting teams off the field. And hopefully you'll start to see the offense use that energy and pick up off of that energy and really start moving the ball well. Nick Foles, I was able to watch some of his press conference from this week. I hated the move, guys. I'll be honest. I think we went on the air and talked about it, and I was like, oh, God, get this guy out. Like, this is not the guy that I wanted to see brought in here. But listening to him this week and listening to him talk, and, he's turned me into a fan. Now, if he can walk the walk the way he's talked, I'll support this guy through and through. And I do. He's on the team that I love, so I will support him. He really impressed me with what he talked about this week. His big thing in the media that him and Nagy talking on the sidelines, and Nagy's got to come out and stretch and say, no. He was just telling me what he liked and what he felt, what he saw, what he wanted to do. This guy's a veteran. If he wants to make the calls of the plays on the field, let him go with it, Coach. He won a Super Bowl. I think he's got a little bit of experience. Let him go. Let him run things a little bit and see what happens.
Yeah, for sure, man. There's, on the Foles thing, I think Foles is the guy. I think he's the right guy. I think he's the one who who knows what goes, if that stuff goes on the sidelines, who knows what goes on in the locker room or goes on in the meeting room.
Right.
And I think that says a lot for what's happening. Everybody in the chat, Joe Moscone, exactly badge. Everybody's agreeing, of course, with the better tackling and especially today against Mike Davis. We just seen it on the bottom line. The dude's killing it in broken tackles. And just the whole putting a stop to it on initial contact, man. You can't let him get those extra yards. Joe Moscone in the chats, exactly badge. Joe Moscone, longtime listener of Barroom, and Joe, we actually met Joe at the Packers Bears game. Me and Mr. Gandia met old Joe in the parking lot there and hung out and had a couple of drinks together and tailgated together. So the tailgate show coming full circle with Joe Moscone. Thanks for joining us, brother. Good seeing you. Dude, the defense, though. Teddy came out this week and he's talking about third down conversions and getting after these guys. This is the part where I was saying Teddy might be the thorn, where if you can, like we've seen Mitch do in the past, if you can break away and your quarterback can pick up those third downs, man, that's a thing that we that could be a threat today. Let's jump over to Teddy in this third down clip, and then we'll talk about that here in a second.
It's a sound defense. Those guys, they play well in the red zone. They're great on third downs, and they're very sound. You don't really see them blowing many assignments. So, you just have to, be on point with your game plan from a protection standpoint to route running to run schemes. Just want to make sure you put yourself in the right position and not let them, the soundness of their defense, force you into negative plays. We want to make sure that we're efficient on first and second down, to put ourselves in position to be in those third and manageables. But also when we get to third down and manageable, we want to be able to convert. I think, over the past couple of weeks, we've gotten to third and manageable and haven't really had success. So, we just want to make sure, of course, we're efficient on first and second down, but also, stand on the field, sustaining drives.
Yeah, that's just like I said, man. You don't see a whole lot with Teddy Bridgewater just chucking it down the field. You see little crossing routes and little slants and stuff, and he gets the ball to his weapons and lets them do work, which. Yep. It's all you can ask for from your quarterback. I mean, some people get above and beyond that when you got like Patrick Mahomes and stuff like that. But I mean, this dude he just does it, man. And I hate it because he's a former Louisville Cardinal, a former Minnesota Viking. So I've watched this dude for years carve up my favorite team's defense, just little shoop, shoop, little dink and dunk all the way down the field. And it just works, man. It's hard to explain, but it's also hard to hate the guy. I mean, even though he played for all my rivals, just for him to come back from that gruesome injury it's an incredible story, to be honest. But we need our defense to play really well today, and the way our corners play really far off, I ain't gonna work today, man, because they're gonna hit those accurate little passes on us.
Yeah, they're gonna hit them short passes, and playing off ain't gonna work. So we got Mr. Jesse. I just want to see this real quick. He said, "Hey, Panthers fan here. There's a lot of toxicity going around, so I just wanted to wish you all good luck, and this should be a fun game to watch. Have a great day." Are we being toxic? I don't really think we are.
I don't know.
Maybe he's talking about in Carolina. Maybe he's talking about COVID. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I really don't think that there was any toxicity, but hey, you know, like the response was kind of made it toxic. But either way, Jesse, thanks for joining us, man. I whatever. We can go.
I agree with him, though. It's going to be a really fun game to watch. I mean, a lot of the things that they do well are things that we've done well as well. So it's going to be like a power versus power, or see what's going to give.
Yeah,
and it's going to be a hell of a game. I mean, you got DJ Moore, you just saw on that clip, take a little crossing route all the way to the house, and Robbie Anderson's just been going off this year. Like I said earlier, I benched him this week. The first 2 weeks I had him on my bench, and I regretted it. But I've got a lot of confidence in our defense, and but their speed is definitely something that's scary. And even their third receiver is is it Samuel or something? Samuel, I can't remember, but he's a speed guy too. So, huh?
Debo. Yeah. That's who it is. That's who you're talking about, right? I mean, they have a bunch of dudes like that can get out. DJ Moore is probably one of their underrated, one of their Anthony Miller type. He's saying Curtis Samuel is what Joe's saying.
That's what I was thinking. But he's another speed guy. They just got speed all over the field, man. And then they knock your teeth in with Mike Davis. Our defense is in for a test. Let's see if they're up for it.
Yeah, they definitely are, man. I think our defense has got what it takes. I mean, we've put some top scoring offenses down. We've put some proven offenses down, and stayed with them. Held them to one touchdown or held them to field goals. So I think our defense has what it takes, man. I think our offense is the one, obviously, who needs to show up. We can't keep doing this down 10, down 16, down 7, down whatever. And coming back to life, man. Like, eventually there has to be the game where you control the tempo, the whole thing.
Totally.
You just come out, you control the offensive line, you control the trenches, you control the running game.
This is the week to do it, Bobby. This is the week to do it. This Carolina defense started the season ranked 32nd in the NFL to start the season. Yeah. They've played well. They've already moved up to being the number 17 defense in the NFL right now. They're missing K'Wan Short.
That's a big miss.
Shoulder, end of the year,
shoulder injury. Yetur Gross-Matos, rookie for the Panthers, that's made an impact so far. He's going to miss this game. He's on IR most likely for a minimum of 3 weeks with an ankle sprain. Their secondary is a little bit banged up. Eli Apple, listed as questionable coming into this. This is a chance for this offense to come out and win the trenches And they've got to do it today. They've got to get off the bus running the football. I should say buses, as that was a hot topic in the press conferences this week too, about the travel plans and how they're taking multiple buses and planes and this, that, and everything due to COVID. But they got to come out ready to run the football, give the ball to David Montgomery. I want to see this guy get 20 plus carries. I'm excited for him to have a big game today and use this play action game off of his carries and try some deep stuff. I think Terry Lambright said he wanted to see Nagy go deep right off the bat.
Oh, I'd love that. I've been calling that for weeks, man.
Yeah,
everyone
it would be nice.
That run in the first play of the game is almost always just a little handoff to Montgomery to the right side usually. So, defenses know that's coming. Play action and deep ball it to Mooney or something.
Yeah, you gotta see it. I mean, I think we have a great opportunity. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my notes to really get the run game going today. Now, obviously, that James Daniels injury, is a blow to the offensive line. Is it going to be Rashad Coward or is it going to be Alex Bars? They brought Bars in.
I'd like to see them stick with Bars and just see how he.
Me too. Do. Yeah, they brought Bars in. His first play of the game, he gives up a sack to Vita Vea, who unfortunately then went out of the game injured last week. But Bars, after that, I thought played really well, and I'd like to see them stick with him. Why Nagy wouldn't say who's going to be the starter? When he was asked yesterday, I know I was going back and forth on Twitter with Logan a little bit. When he was asked who's going to start, and he said he didn't know, and then they came back and said, well, why, what are you trying? Why are you trying to hide this? And he's like, yeah, I don't really know. I thought that was the most honest answer Nagy's given since coming to Chicago. It good for you, Matt. Why don't you want to let him know? Why does it matter? Why do we need to let you know? Yeah. Like it is what it is. He's going to start. He's not going to start. I think it should be Bars personally. Let's give him a chance. Give him a chance to get out there, hit somebody from the start of the game. Already coming in warmed up, not having to go against a possible Pro Bowler in Vita Vea, which unfortunately I think he's probably done for the year. But today is the day to get the ground game going, and we need to get off the bus
you go
running.
with is going to have to. I mean, they got Aaron Donald next week. I don't want to jump into other games, but so whoever it is, they need to have a little warm up game this week to get ready.
And here's the other thing. I don't know. I see Perry mention it in the chat. Juan Castillo won't be with the team due to someone close to him having COVID. So. Of course, the other offensive line coach's name is slipping my mind right now. Perry, to answer your question, I'm not too concerned. Nagy seemed pretty confident in his press conference about, man, I wish I could remember his name.
I just listened to Hogan Johns last night, and they talked about it too, but I cannot remember it's an assistant offensive line coach. So basically, he's not Juan Castillo, but he's step for step with Juan Castillo. So I don't think it'll be too much of a drop off either in that particular position. And they said that Juan hasn't tested positive. So it was just someone close to him tested positive. So he's quarantining with them, I guess. I'm assuming wife, child, something like that. I don't know.
Oh, Donovan Raiola. Thank you, Aldo.
Yeah, there you go. I was texting Mr. Ryan KB, the Kirkland Billings. We got the fireman in the house. Is he in the firehouse right now?
He's working today.
Man.
He's out there putting out fires today. RKB, welcome to the Barfly Tailgate Show. Welcome back, dude. How you doing?
What's going on, fellas, man? I'm doing good, man. Had to pop in with y'all real quick. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got nothing going on at the moment because it's a Sunday, but
What, Fires don't have some love,
he's got to run.
They know it's Bears football, baby. They know it's Bears football.
That's right, man. I mean, so hey, we're just getting into this Panthers defense against the Bears offense. This Panthers D is only averaging 1 sack a game. I think this is could be a good time for our offensive line to like have that game, to get that positive going. I know people hate Charles Leno, whatever. I really don't care. Like there's always comments about this or like whatever. Find me a guy find me a replacement that people are willing to part with. Otherwise I'm good with Leno right now. So you're going to have your spots on your teams, you know what I mean? But I think this is a good game for people for this offensive line to put it all together, man. It's a good time. Granted, it's never a good time to be missing James Daniels, right? But it's a time for the offensive line to get their feet under him and get this thing going. I think it's also, a good time to get this rushing attack going, man. The Panthers are giving up 133 yards a game. So it's a good time to get this rushing attack going and let this offensive line come out and battle and take these trenches, man. If you ain't going to take the trenches away from a team that it's only averaging 1 sack a game, I don't know when a good time is. It's not, going up against Donald, like you said.
Exactly.
KB, this rushing attack, man. You see Nagy getting after this thing today and actually rushing the ball, or do you think it's going to be another 13 carry game and just planning to throw the deep ball?
Oh, it's Nagy, man. You know what that means. It's gonna be dump offs and sweeps. That's what it's gonna be all game. Realistically, you would love to see them start to get it open with David Montgomery, man. I would be pounding the rock, especially with that defensive line being as banged up as it is.
Yep.
You got to take advantage of the trenches right now. You know what I'm saying? We got to take some kind of pressure off of Foles, man. Set up this play action somewhere.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think if you, especially on this, if you come out and you try to do these end arounds like we did last game in the first quarter, and we're trying to, I think Perry, somebody said it earlier where Nagy just can't get Cordero Patterson out of his head. Like he has to design him a play, has to go for him. If we see that stuff and this little trickery shit start happening again, I think it's going to be a struggle. You can't be confident in your offense if you're running to the strong side trying to do a damn, power sweeps and shit, and thinking that, it's just not working. There's really no trick to any of this thing. And I think if you just go out there and play some hard nose against a struggling defensive line, and you play some hard nose and just punch it, straight down the field, I think we see a lot, more things open up for this team.
Yeah, we got a clip of Nagy talking about the Panthers defense right here.
They're really well coached. They're fundamentally sound. Kind of a bend but don't break style of defense where they try not to give you a lot of opportunities downfield. They're going to make you, earn your yards. And then when you get in the red zone, you got to be effective. You got to really be able to try to stay patient. But at the same time, they also play fast and they fly around, and you feel that their identity on defense is they have guys that just roll. And so schematically, doing what they do and then playing fast, they make it challenging on you as an offense. And so we got to make sure that we just stay persistent with what we want to do with our game plan. And then, as always, as I say every week, when we get in the red zone, touchdowns and not field goals.
100% true. You have to score touchdowns. And, I have it here in my notes. Jimmy Graham has been great in the red zone. If we've just got to continue to go to him in the red zone to put points on the board, then so be it. Let's do it. Because to me, he's been phenomenal. Obviously, we've touched on Allen Robinson today already. But as I mentioned, we got to come off the bus today running the football and really let this offensive line show what they can do today, I think, in order to win this game.
Yeah, Todd Gurley had his first breakout game of the season that was last week's game, correct? The Panthers and the Falcons.
Yep.
Yeah. So if Nagy can get out of his own head and stop trying to be the smartest man on the field, and then I think we'll be in good shape. Just run the football, go play action. It's not difficult to figure out. They're hurting on D-line. Their leading tackler is Jeremy Chin, which is a safety that I really liked coming out of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
So that's telling you that guys are getting into the second level of their defense quite a bit. They'll always be missing Luke Kuechly, I believe. So that's a difficult person to replace on that defense. So
yeah, Kuechly retired. Remember?
Yeah. I think it was concussion issues, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's difficult. And just like I said, man. And I don't want to sound like I should have a tuba following me. But that's what we got to do, man. Just run the ball, do some play action, give me a little bit of Jimmy Graham, and I think we're gonna be good, man. I'm more worried about their offense against our defense than I am their defense against our offense.
Yeah, I think the only way that we throw this is by getting too cute on offense. I think it should be a simple game, not simple, but a simple plan game. You don't, like you're saying, you don't have to outsmart yourself. Simple plan game, and just methodically move the ball downfield. I know you guys were saying earlier about opening it up with a play action, deep ball, whatever. I'm not really a fan of that first down deep ball. I'm more of a fan of either probably second down for the majority of the time, because I'd rather see
get
first down, use it to get a couple of yards, make everything else different. Granted, the defense, if they're just all up in the box, then sure, take a shot, but not just on the regular of just opening up with the damn Madden play action deep ball over and over again. But I think this all comes down to whether or not Nagy can call this game right, man. And it's unfortunate that this dude he's got a good record. He's got a good coaching, you know what I mean? But he's still yet in question over and over again. Every week it's in question on what he's doing. And he's put wins together. He's done this for this team, and with everything else going on, with the quarterback controversy, with the kicking controversy, with all this other, seems like there's always something. He's putting wins together, and and we're getting after it. Now, whether or not he's put wins together or we're getting, the lucky break here and there, I don't know, man. But I'm just saying there's always something, and there's still not as much confidence in this dude that I think, we could have.
Well, his record's like 24-14.
Yeah.
I mean, the defense has saved his ass quite a bit, like most of that 2018 season. But then we're not going to get rid of a head coach that's 24-14. So
yeah, I don't think
take your lumps.
Yeah, I don't think so either, man. I know we got, so if you're in the chat, stick around after our show. We got the Fantasy Football Goon, and those guys will be coming on and popping off their live show of all the injury updates of today. And in a season of just riddled fantasy leagues, get with the Fantasy Football Goon. These dudes are going to tell you, who you need to pick up, who's out there, and who can at least fill in for some of these injured guys that you guys got going. Boys, I don't know how much more we really got, or you guys want to talk about. We can kick it around this room for bold predictions, score predictions, shout outs.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, let's get into the promo we got before we do that, and then we'll finish with that. So I'm gonna kick this little promo, and then I'm gonna let you guys in on a little bit of stuff here. Yeah, that's right.
Boom.
So, yeah, right there, fellas. A-Rob will chat with us on Monday afternoon, and he will be promoting his event happening Monday night. It's called A Night Within Reach. And guys, they got some fantastic raffles. If you can get a ticket, they're still up for sale. And here's just some options. Forgive me for looking down, but I got to look at my phone. They've got a Whiskeys of the World tasting for 20 people. You can experience the flavors and styles of whiskey like never before. You enjoy the evening with Alan Robinson and your friends in your home for an exclusive Whiskeys of the World guided tasting of 8 prestigious spirits for 20 people. And it's by Southern Glazers corporate mixologist Daniel De Oliveira. There's a Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant autographed dual set. You know, that's 2 of the greatest basketball players. I'm sorry, Jordan's a GOAT. I don't care what LeBron fans say. Zip it. And then dinner with Alan Robinson at Morton Steakhouse as well. So that's you going with A-Rob, having dinner, chilling. I mean, you can't complain. So you're definitely going to want to check out A Night Within Reach. Excited to have Alan on. We'll talk a little ball, but we're definitely going to be talking about the event as well. So join us Monday afternoon. Very excited to have Alan join us.
Man, that's huge. I mean, and you ain't getting that anywhere else,
Sir.
Bears fans.
It's dope as hell, baby.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, man. It's going to be, he's down to talk football. He's down to talk the Within Reach Foundation. So it's going to be a great little piece.
I talk contracts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
Yeah,
You ain't going to talk contracts, man.
I'm
You don't
letting
even
my
deal with his
agent
own
handle it.
contracts. He's got a guy for that. You know what I mean? So, but he's down to talk football. He's going to be basically like a you know, an addition. He'll break down the Panthers game for us. You know, we'll get into some of that with him and see what the outcome and whatever, man. But definitely bringing him on Monday and you know, pushing the Within Reach Foundation. If you guys can get over to the website, you can always donate. You can always, you know, just hop in. You don't have to do the virtual dinner or any of that or the raffles, but you know, there's a lot of options in that. So, you know, get over there Within Reach and make your donation in that. For the
Alan
BARROOM,
Robinson12.org is where you can go and find out all the information on the Within Reach Foundation. Highly recommend you check it out.
Yeah, definitely, man. For the BARROOM, we got a couple other shows going. We got Bear Football after the game, 5 minutes after the game. Get over there to Bear Football. Join your
Brother
dudes.
James.
Mr. Tyler Ellis, the Gaines Report, and John Buffone. And then there might be somebody else hopping on that show today. You know, I might just have to pull a double header today and hop on this Bear Football tonight. And hopefully it's celebrating a big Bear win. And then like we told you earlier, you got the boys, the Fantasy Football Goon, joining us here shortly. They're going to be hopping on here in a minute, letting you know who to start, who to sit, and who to get after, man. Let's hurry up and run through bold predictions. I know these guys want to get out. Injury reports are coming on. I know we're kind of holding them up. Bold predictions, score predictions, badge, go.
Yeah, Cordarrelle Patterson, a kickoff return touchdown is my bold prediction. Was close to bringing one back last week. I got a feeling he's doing it this week. My score prediction, the Bears defeat the Carolina Panthers in Carolina with some fans in the stadium.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully there's a lot of Bears fans. Sad day for Panthers fans as the Bears will come out victorious 24-13.
24-13. Mr. Aaron Curran, AC in the place to be. Bold prediction, score prediction, send it.
Well, my bold prediction may not sound too bold until I preface it by saying that the Carolina Panthers have not given up a sack in 2 weeks. I think the Chicago Bears come out and they have 3 sacks today. I don't know if that'll be all Mac or Mac, Quinn, and Hicks or how they're going to spread it up, but the Bears are going to have 3 sacks today. And Badge, I'm right there with you on the score prediction. I was sitting here trying to think, what am I going to So I'm thinking Bears win 24-13 or 24-16, something around in there.
All right. Bold prediction, score prediction. The fireman, KB. What you got, man?
Bold prediction. Jalen Johnson, pick 6, and Eddie Jackson gets a pick. So we get 2 picks by the defense today. Jalen Johnson gets the return. I was hovering right around that same score, but I go 27-13 Bears.
27-13 Bears. Let me run down the chat here a little bit. Kofi's going Bears are winning 31-17. You heard it here first. Perry Lambert, Anthony Miller, deep ball touchdown. My bold prediction. Tactics 7. Bold prediction. Eddie Jackson, pick 6. Kofi, Foles throwing for over 300 yards, 3 touchdown. Montgomery rushing over 100 yards, 1 touchdown. So I'm going with my bold predictions. Montgomery's going over $150 with 2 touchdowns. I think we're going to see this running game go easy, 25 plus carries. And I think we're going to see, a high scoring game though. I'm going to go with 31 and it's the Bears. So it's going to be 31-24. We're going to keep it close. It's going to be a nail biter at the end. We're all going to be worried about something or whatever. And I'm gonna piggyback on KB that our man Jalen Johnson puts this game away in the 4th quarter with that pick. So 150, 2 touchdowns for Montgomery. Jalen Johnson seals the deal at the end of the game, and this Bears come out with another victory, man.
Nice.
So, let's go. Bears win 20-20 despite 3 missed field goals by Santos.
Why, Joe?
Oh God, please
Santos is doing well, man. Don't jinx
Take him out. Take him out of the chat right now.
Damn,
Take him out of the chat.
Dude, we don't need a kicker controversy, man.
Yeah, I take Davis, Mack and Akeem, 5 sacks. I like that.
Between
getting
just
some
those
pressure.
2? All right. I mean, hey, whatever. We know this is a potent offense. Their defense isn't that well. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think we're going to get after it. Santos for the win. We appreciate all you guys joining us in the chat. Like we said yesterday, we got Allen Robinson hopping on. So we're going to kick it live. He's going to be right here with us on video. So join us there too. Whoa. Oh, okay, cool. The bold predictions is that Bears lose, and I was like, "What?" And it's like the keys of the bus after their wild card. Okay, I'm good with that too. Club Dub keys are getting hidden. We appreciate all you guys joining us. Thanks for being here with us every weekend. And we'll just end this thing with a big ass bear down.
Bear down.
Bear down.